Guess who just got back today? Them wide-eyed bulls that been away haven't changed but cracked 50K. But man, I still think them bears are crazy. They were thinking you wouldn't rebound, how you was and where you was going down. Told them you were living in lockdown, driving that man Peter Schiff crazy. The bulls are back in town, the bulls are back in town. The bulls are back in town, the bulls are back in town. I said the bulls are back in town, the bulls are back in town. You know our thin BTC Izzy. It's time for Chico Crypto. The bulls are back. Bitcoin has officially crossed 50K and yesterday was looking to make its next leg up, touching 55K as of shooting this video. So why the sudden change of heart for the king crypto asset? Last week it was bearish. So was this reversal because Coinbase Pro decided to add some assets, one of which we called over the live stream this weekend, Matic now Polygon? No, it can't be that. It's because Coinbase is about to offer itself to the public, Spread Eagle offering, a public one on the Nasdaq stock market, a first for Nasdaq, a direct listing. And Bloomberg came out with a very telling article 2 days ago titled Coinbase is said to be valued at $90 billion in private auction. Yeah, there has been private trading of Coinbase stock pre-IPO, and this was for the Nasdaq homies, accredited investors, and Coinbase employees or investors, and they were all under NDA. They couldn't speak of how this was operating very far. As we can see from the article, it says that valuation of $90 billion is based on $350 a share. The price of stock was trading at on the Nasdaq private market auction that ended last Thursday, the people said, asking not to be identified because the information was private. But those private people who spoke to Bloomberg also said this. Thursday's auction was the last time shares are being sold on the Nasdaq private market before Coinbase goes public in late March. There it is. Coinbase is going public in March like I predicted, and late to be exact. That may be the reason the markets have started moving, anticipation for the IPO. But Chico thinks there may be more surprises coming with this IPO, and the Bloomberg article led me to thinking that. At the very end, they said, owners of Coinbase's Class A common stock will be allowed to sell in the listing and won't be subject to lockup agreements. Class A stock carries 1 vote per share, while Class B has 20 according to the filing. There are 2 types of stock with Coinbase, the Class A and the Class B. The question is this, is one of them tokenized? Well, let's dive into their S1 and see the differences between the 2 stock options. The document states, we have 2 classes of common stock, Class A common stock and Class B common stock. The rights of the holders of Class A common stock and Class B common stock are identical, except with respect to voting and conversion rights. Each share of Class A common stock is entitled to 1 vote. Each share of Class B common stock is entitled to 20 votes and is convertible at any time into 1 share of Class A common stock. Prior to any sales of shares of Class A common stock, a registered stockholder who holds Class B common stock must convert their shares of Class B common stock into shares of Class A common stock. So there it is. The public gets Class A common stock, which will have the ticker coin, while investors and employees are receiving majority the Class B stock, which can be converted into Class A common stock for sale. It's a dual stock structure. I wonder why. Is there tokenization going on, or am I looking too deep into things? Well, deeper we go, and let's look into where these shares have been trading pre-IPO. The Bloomberg article says it was a Nasdaq private market auction. Let's just go to the Wikipedia on Nasdaq private markets. Who is the key person? Barry Silbert, who is the founder of it, chairman and former CEO. Barry Silbert, the Bitcoin Barry Silbert, who is now founder of Digital Currency Group and Grayscale Investments. Well, going back to their Wikipedia, Nasdaq Private Markets, they are involved with Bitcoin. It says the Bitcoin Investment Trust, BIT, is a private, open-ended trust that derives its value solely from the price of Bitcoin. The Nasdaq Private Market acts as a custodian, and the trust is audited by Ernst & Young. The trust is managed through a subsidiary of Second Market, which is Digital Currency Group and Grayscale. So, Nasdaq Private Markets was founded and still has ties to one of the largest institutional names in crypto. But you want another hint that Class B could be tokenized? Well, the Wikipedia also says the private markets products. Number 1 is marketplace services. What did Nasdaq Private Markets announce during the summer of last year? Their marketplace services platform. And complementing the rollout is Nasdaq Digital Asset Suite. Nasdaq is working with Digital Asset, R3, and Symbiont to deliver technology through the marketplace service platform to meet the diverse needs and unique models of tokenized and digital asset marketplaces from cryptocurrency to real estate and other areas. Other areas like tokenized securities of Class B Coinbase stock. Well, what does one of the partners do? Symbiont. Going to their website, they deliver smart securities in the form of tokenized alternative assets. And look at those partners. Of course, Nasdaq, but also Citi, aka Citigroup. Going back to Coinbase's S1, it says in the document, the price is determined by Nasdaq after consultation with Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and Citigroup. Those large financial entities are the advisors to Coinbase. Citigroup is tied to Symbiont. How about Goldman Sachs and JP? Well, they're not listed as a partner, but they are tied to Symbiont through multiple avenues. Vanguard, number 1. Vanguard owns nearly 8% of JP Morgan, according to Fintel, and nearly 7.5% of Goldman Sachs. State Street, number 2. As we can see from holdings of State Street, both JP Morgan and Goldman have their hats in the ring. But scrolling up to State Street's number 1 holder, it's Vanguard. So the question that comes to my mind is, why in the heck are all of Coinbase's IPO advisors involved in some form with Symbiont, whose focus is on the tokenization of securities? In due time, that will be answered, but now it's time to finish this episode off with a little prediction for the coming up month with the possible scenarios. So, we get the official announcement of the IPO from Nasdaq and Coinbase within the next week. Personally, I think that could get BTC, the price, up towards 60K. But it's just a basic direct listing IPO involving no avenues of tokenization. There will still be much hype with this, no doubt about it, and by the end of March when the IPO goes live, I could see BTC nearing 70K. But around there is where it stops during and post IPO, maybe getting to a 75K peak. That's with no tokenization, but what if we get the announcement of tokenization? Of course, not Class A, the coin shares traded publicly, but those Class B shares reserved for the accredited investors, employees, and executives. If this news comes out, that would allow the break of 75K for Bitcoin. Although tokenization or not, the markets will begin to rumble due to the biggest financial IPO of this century. But Coinbase Coin will be the first time crypto has transitioned into the world of Finance 1.0. And I'm hodling on hope that their Class B stock will be the first time Finance 1.0 has transitioned over to the world of crypto. Cheers, I'll see you next time.